We are introducing Arewa Youth Mentorship Program. The AYMP is a collection of Northern Nigeria academics and professionals from different spheres of life who volunteer to offer free mentorship and equip Northern Nigeria youth at all levels with necessary knowledge on career opportunities, scholarship grants, personality building, innovation, among others.
So, assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Tariq Ahmed, and always on behalf of the organizing committee, Arewa Youth Mentorship Program, it is my honor to welcome you to our session today titled Harnessing the Power of Emerging Technologies for Career Advancement. Now, these technologies, especially generative AI, has been the elephant in every room. You find intellectuals, especially students as well as academics. And we've all witnessed how these kind of innovations are causing ripples in every aspect of our lives, whether it's education, defense, medicine, you name it. And so our ability to adapt and leverage this advancement is paramount to both personal and professional success. So our session today is designed to explore this kind of vast landscape of emerging technologies for us to get a peek of how certain tools are not just shaping industries, but really redefining the way that we work, the way we learn, the way we connect with each other. And I believe you'll all agree with me that kind of understanding and mastering these technologies can open doors to unprecedented opportunities and also career growth. So as we delve into our session today, remember, as always, our goal is not just to stay abreast of the trends, but rather to kind of be active participants in this technological evolution. I think we all need to understand how we're going to add these set of tools into our skill sets in order to enhance our capabilities, increase our kind of profitability or even marketability, and also drive innovation within our respective fields. So our agenda today will comprise of four main points, four main points usually. First part, we'll hear from Dr. Akubu Dil, who will first of all welcome our presenters and also talk to you about how we can get involved with Arewa Youth Mentorship Program. We'll then have a presentation from Dr. Fauziya Yakasai for about 30 minutes. And then we'll hear from Dr. Nura Tijjani Abubakar. And then finally, we'll have the Q&A session where you can either use the chat box to type in your questions or use the raise hand option, and we'll ensure we get your questions addressed. So without taking much of your time, I'll pass on the virtual mic to Dr. Akubu, who will talk, first of all, as I've mentioned, welcome our participants, and then make a brief comment. Doctor, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tariq. It's always a pleasure to welcome our participants to the Arewa Youth Mentorship Program webinar. As always, today we've come with a very interesting topic, the use of emerging technologies in career advancement and professional growth. So today is like an in-house session. The lead speaker, Dr. Fauziya, is one of the conveners of the AYMP. So I think it's like an in-house session. We'll not go deep into talking about the presenter. So I think for the sake of those that are joining us, maybe for the first time, I always encourage people to check the previous sessions that we have had. They are all on our YouTube page. So you can always revisit them in case you have participated previously. I will share the links to all the media handles in the chat box so you can use them. I would also like to thank Dr. Nura, who has been very helpful, very resourceful in terms of, many things as far as AYMP is concerned. Nura is in charge of, all our graphical and website designs. So he's an expert there. So this is like, we are bringing him on board to share some of these experiences with us. Thank you very much, Dr. Nura. So I think we should just go ahead, Dr. Tariq, into the session without taking much of our time. Like I said, I will share these links now on the chat box, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor. And yes, as you rightly mentioned, I think our participants or our presenters today need no detailed introduction, mainly because they've been with us, right from the start. And, most of our participants have, encountered or have an interaction with them one way or the other. So without, providing any detailed introduction, Dr. Fauziya, as you already know, she is a professional researcher and also a data scientist with wealth of experience in academia and industry, in data science, statistics, mathematics, and research. She has secured a number of scholarships and also gave us talks on how to secure these scholarships, including the Overseas Scholarship Scheme, OSS PTDF. She completed her PhD from Auburn University, and she's just about to start a new role as an academic specialist at Michigan State University, where she will be teaching statistics and data science. Doctor, I'll give the floor to you now. I understand you have some slides to share. So over to you, please.
All right, let me share my screen. Can you see?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Tariq, for the introduction, and you are all welcome. It's been a long time. We had a presentation, so I hope today I'll make you happy. So while talking with Dr. Yakub about the topic I want to discuss, he actually pointed out to me that it's going to be a big topic, a kind of broad topic. And when I was actually making the slide, I agree with him because there were a lot of information I wanted to put, but then I realized we just have 1 hour. So I decided to just concentrate by looking at the kind of audience we have. I just decided to concentrate on maybe kind of the career path if you want to follow, maybe if you want to do like AI or other blockchain and other emerging technologies. So maybe when Dr. Nura is about to talk, he can talk more about the business side and so on. But I will try to give some example regarding that. So it's kind of a broad topic. Maybe when I want to give the next maybe a lecture or presentation, I may decide to go deeper. Okay. So today we are going to talk about the emerging technologies. And then I will kind of look at how you can navigate your career path, the opportunities we have there, how you can use them, generative AI, ChatGPT, and so on, knowing that AI is here to stay, right? One of the questions people usually ask themselves now is the question, is AI going to take my job? Everyone is kind of scared, just like the way when computers are out, we all thought it's going to take our jobs. So my question is, maybe Dr. Nura or Dr. Yakub, what do you think? Do you think AI is going to take your job?
For me, no.
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
AI won't take your job. Can only make it better if you use it smartly. Yeah.
Okay. So we shall see. Maybe towards the end we can come back to the question. Okay. So what are emerging technologies? They are actually technologies that are currently developed or that will be developed in the next 5 to 10 years. So the most common one you hear about is AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, that's for encrypto, right? And the Internet of Things, augmented virtual reality, 5G technology, and so on. These are just the most common ones you hear about. So like your artificial intelligence, you know about your Siri, your Alexa, and your blockchain, you all know about Bitcoin and so on. So the thing is, we know that all these things, we use it in our day-to-day life, especially now, maybe the ChatGPT and so on, right? And then of course we have seen the saga about the blockchain. What was that blockchain? Sorry, that crypto that we had now. The one
That's
that
what.
people attack. Yes, okay, yeah. So these are all part of the technology the emerging technologies that we have. Okay. So over the recent years, this is just mind you, it's not a real data, but then we have you can agree with me in all sectors like health, education, manufacturing. They have seen a tremendous increase in productivity, efficiency by using AI, by using technologies and so on, like education, use of smartphone, smart boards, and so on. Using computers, we have seen an increase in student learning. Okay, so this is just a graph, just describing how the increase is. It may not be actually that true, but then you can agree with me in every sector there's an impact in technology. Okay. So how do you like navigate your career in AI? Like which part do you sorry, not in AI, in technology, which part do you want to follow? For example, let's say Dr. Nura decides to change career, or he's just about to begin, right? What does he need to do, right? So the first thing, you have to like exploit the career opportunities we have. You can agree with me now, AI is data scientist is one of the leading role. You can see the average salary you have in the US is around or not really the average, I should just call it salary since it's not just one number. So the salary is like about 130K to 200,000 a year. You can get up to that, or even if it's around California, it can even be more than that. It can be up to like 300,000. So what you need to do, you have to like exploit the career opportunities out there. What is trending? What do you hope to achieve in the next 5 or 10 years? And do you want to, are you after money? Are you after just helping people? Whatever. I'm sure everyone likes money. So if you believe me, if you are into tech, you will get that. So maybe looking at this salary range, uh, I'm sure like maybe Dr. Yakub later on will come here and say he's going to leave academia, right? So you can see that in industries, there's a lot of money you can get when you follow your career through technology. It doesn't have to be this courses or this career. It can be, you can be a medical doctor and still use AI. You can be a business person and use AI, or use any IT stuff. So all you need to do is kind of look at what are the trending things they are using in health. For example, what are the tools they are using, technology they are using in health or in business? People that you can see that people using technology in their businesses, how they are getting more money than those that are not using. So you need to look at all those things and then decide to know what you need, what skills you need to learn and so on. So the next thing, of course, you identify the key skills. What are the technical skills that are needed when you want to follow a career in technology, or when you want to enhance your career in using technology? So these are the most common one. Like you need to know some programming languages like Python, JavaScript, Solidity, and so on. Like if you want to go into data analysis and visualization, you can know some R, W, and so on. Or if you would want to go to the area of cybersecurity, you will need to learn some fundamentals and so on. So the main thing is identify what are the key skills needed so that you can try to learn them using online resources and so on. So here I kind of put some learning resources where you can get this knowledge. You have like Coursera, edX, Udacity, and so on. You just need to Google Google them, you'll see the link, or anyway, I can add the links in the last slide before I share them. Okay, so there are a lot of free courses, courses you can pay online. These are just 3 that I put. There are a lot of them online. There are a lot of resources. As long as you have data, then like they say, data is wealth. You can use it to learn a lot of things. Okay, so and then you need to, one thing about the area of IT is that nobody kind of cares about kind of degree. They always concentrate on certificates. So mostly, if you even have a degree on those kind of like data science and so on, you need to have like some certificates, like some IT certificate. So like I give an example here, like Google IT certificate, IBM, and so on. When you go to the website, there are a lot of certificates you can enroll in. Some are free, some you have to pay. And then, of course, you have to be going to workshops and boot camps to kind of know what are the trends, what are the things that are being developed. Because IT is something that is just running before you know it. Just like yesterday, we never know what anything like ChatGPT. Then you wake up now, it's ChatGPT, and then it's doing a lot of things now, not just giving you text, but generating images and so on. So you have to be attending bookshops and boot camps to be able to stay updated. Okay, so of course, like we agree, if you can agree with me, or if not, we know that IT is everywhere. You can use it anywhere, in any course you are doing, be it business, be it math, be it medicine, and so on. So you need to understand where you are heading to. Is it that you just want to concentrate on the IT, or you want to apply them in some areas like healthcare, finance, agriculture, and so. So we have seen a lot of things that have been developed in each of these areas. Like in blockchain, we have the Ripple, and in AI healthcare, we have the IBM Western Health. So it's always good that when you decide to maybe go to AI, or if you're going to go to blockchain, try to see how you can apply it. Even if you don't have that much knowledge in the other field, all you need to do is collaborate with other people in that area, hear from them, and then you understand where you need to apply what you learn. Okay. Okay. And the next thing is practical application, right? As long as you are talking about IT, is not just learning or cramming or something. You have to put your hands, you have to make your hands dirty. You have to work on projects. You have to be able to see. That's one thing I like about IT, right? I'm always happy. When I was doing like pure math, you just kind of do some calculation and do some prove some theorems. But then with IT, I was able to like do some coding, see what I'm doing, apply it, and do some projects. So it kind of makes me more happy, more satisfied with what I learned. Okay, although math is an application, when you're doing IT, you need math, but then all the time you need to see, you would like to see the practical application of what you're doing. So that's one thing about IT. You have some hands-on project where you can develop some apps, where you can develop some maybe do some innovation and so on. Okay, so you have to do some, as you are learning your courses, you try to do some project that will help you in knowing whether you understand what you learn, or even add to your CV. Because when you are IT, they always want to see what are the projects have you done, did you do, and so on. Yeah. So, and of course, how do you get that? You can do that through internship, right? Whether paid or unpaid. One thing I always tell people is it's not all about money. As long as you're trying to get the experience, you can do an unpaid internship. You can go to all these banks or these companies, like talk to them. You want to have some experience. If they say they will not pay you, it's okay. You can tell them you just need experience. Try to get like 2 months or 3 months working with them just to have some hands-on experience. And some of the website you can go and get and apply for these internships at the Intershala, of course, LinkedIn and Glassdoor. So for LinkedIn, I think I was talking to Dr. Yakub. One thing you need to know about LinkedIn is a professional platform. So I see some of you like that follow me or I follow, like I don't understand why you go to LinkedIn and be doing like happy birthday or like putting some pictures and so on. It's a professional that's why in your CV you are required to put your LinkedIn page, right? It's because when they're like looking at your CV, they can also go to your LinkedIn and see the project you have done, because CV is always like a summary, right? But in your LinkedIn, they will see a lot of things that you have done, what kind of things you are involved in. So imagine you go onto LinkedIn and just putting random pictures, doing happy birthday and so on. What are they going to say about you? So I think we should be careful when using this all this social media. If it's an app that we can put pictures and so on Instagram, is fine. But then for LinkedIn, I assure it's a professional listing. All you need to do is showcase your talent, brag about the things you do and so on, so that when recruiters are looking, they can easily contact you and know you are serious. Because sometimes it's not, you get jobs there without even applying. Recruiters are looking, if they see you are qualified, you have the skills they want, they will contact you and you take it from there, right? So, and of course, I mentioned earlier about project collaboration. If you are into IT, you need to collaborate with people, do projects. You cannot do alone. It's not an area where you just work in silos, because there are a lot of developments out there. Maybe there are people that know better than you, or that you can learn from. So you need to like look for people to do project together, and you can do project together using GitHub, GitLab, Slack, where you share your code, share your ideas, and so yeah, they are all the links are all there. When you have the slide, you can go in there and see how it looks like. Okay. So of course, the next thing is networking and professional development. I think Dr. Yakub wants to talk to you about this thing. So networking is actually an important thing to do, whatever field that you are in. A lot of people actually get a job or get job recommendation from networking. Okay. So this is very important to know, and of course, where to get those networking includes going to conferences, like attending workshop, and then also on LinkedIn, you can talk to people when you send them a friend request. You can talk to them, especially when you're, like I mentioned, when your profile is good. Just go, if you see a recruiter advertising something, just go talk to them, send them their CV, and they will look at your profile and see if you are qualified for the job or something. So some important LinkedIn groups that you can join for AI, like for example, AI machine learning, you just need to search it on LinkedIn and join.
Sorry to interrupt you a little bit. Am I the only one not seeing the slides?
No, we can see the slides, doctor. There is no problem with the slides.
Okay, so all right, so maybe it's from me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Maybe you can log out and log in again.
Yeah, so maybe that's the reason. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, and for Reddit, this is one of the apps that I like, because I always see any answers to my question. I like Reddit a lot. So you can join that. Anything, whether business, whatever you are doing, they always have a channel that people, experts or people that have experience in that, that you can learn a lot of things about. So you can go to Reddit, and believe me, you will not regret it. You learn a lot of things there. sometimes you can even go just ask question and then somebody will respond to you with a valid answer, okay? And then some of the professional organization you can join at the IEE, ICM, and so on. And of course, I have talked about going to conferences is very important, where you can get jobs, you can get friends there that you can network with, you can collaborate with, and so on. So how do you stay updated? We have seen how IT is just developing over the years. Before you know it, before you sleep and wake up, something is just out there. So how do you stay updated? How do you make sure you are up to date, you are up to the game? Okay. So of course, some of the things I usually do, or people that are in IT does, is reading. Of course, you have to read. Make sure some of your time, the blogs you are following, the podcasts you are listening to, something that you learn, not just people that just sit down and talk nonsense on their podcasts or their blogs. You follow where you will learn a lot of things, where they talk about jobs, where they talk the things that are trending, and so on. You get a lot of information there, and you learn from that. Okay. And like blockchain, you have the CoinDex, and so on. Those of you that are into cryptocurrency, you can go there and see what is happening about regarding your coin and so on. Okay, so I think this is one of the most important things that I wanted to talk about. How do you tailor your CV with the AI tools? So some of you, I'm sure you have been applying to jobs and maybe 100 jobs, and you haven't gotten any response or any interviews. So one thing is, because of all the generative AI, all those AI tools, these are what companies are using. Believe me, if your CV doesn't have those keywords that are in the job description, your CV will not be visible to them, because they use AI tools trained, and those AI tools are looking at, they will look at your CV, scan your CV, and see if those keywords that they need for the job are there. If they are not there, your CV is gone. So you don't blame the employers. They actually did not receive, or the recruiters, they haven't seen your CV, because the AI tools are discard your CV. So you need to look at the job description. So turn to ChatGPT or Copilot, Gemini. Copilot is the word we previously called the Bing AI, and Gemini, I think, is the bad Google bad. So thanks to them, like, you can actually use, if you have a CV now, you have an old CV, you can use it, just attach it. If you have the GPT-4, for example, you can attach it, or if you don't have that one, you have to copy it. So you need to copy and paste in the ChatGPT and ask it to kind of tailor your CV towards that job description, to kind of also highlight the key skills needed. So when it does that, you just need to go over it again, and then kind of make sure you put like some percentage of what increase. Like, for example, I can say I introduced the use of for example, ChatGPT in our company, and sorry, I introduced the use of maybe some app, or maybe I developed some app in the industry I'm working, or in the company I'm working, and then it increases sales by 30%, for example. So you need to like quantify, right? Like quantify what development you kind of bring to the company, right? So for in summary, what I'm saying is that you need to like make sure your CV contains those key words in the job description. So one app that does that is the job scan. It kind of match your CV to the job description using AI, right? It will make sure like also like the key skills have been added to your CV. And of course, I didn't say you should you should lie about your skill because you're going to have a technical interview or something. But if as long as you'll be able to defend what you write in your CV, you should go ahead and do that. So one important thing is about, we know we all use ChatGPT, but the prompt, learning how to ask it a question is very important, and that's what we call the prompt. You can look at some videos on YouTube to see how to learn. It's not that difficult. It's very simple to learn how you can prompt it, how you can ask a question, because it depends on how you how you ask this question that it will respond. So you need to know how to, like, when it gives you an answer, how do you ask it to change or to kind of give you another answer. So you need to learn some prompting, which, like I mentioned, is simple. For example, you say generate a CV summary for a machine learning engineer with experience in Python and TensorFlow, for example, and then it will generate that. Okay, and then you can, for job scan, like I said, you can analyze job description and to optimize CV keyword. You tell it to do that. Okay. So in conclusion, we have looked at how you can stay updated with emerging technologies and the relevant skills you need to learn. The practical, you have to follow some, do some practical application by doing project and so on. What tools you have out there for networking and professional development, and then how you can explore your career paths and leverage AI tools for your career advancement. And at the end, I would like to dedicate this to my father that passed last month in May. He's actually the backbone of my studies, where I go into IT. Since when we have this, if some of you, I don't know if you know about this old computer, I'm sure we still have some of them in Nigeria. So I remember when since when I was like around 12, he has this kind of computer where I started with playing games on the computer. And I can also remember when the first time I heard, I had him saying about, he said, Yanagizo. So I didn't know what Yanagizo. I said, like, what is Yanagizo? He told me it's internet. So that's the first time I heard about that one. So he has been there. Even though at that time I didn't understand what IT could do for me, he always take me to all this computer school where I learned, I did some certifications. And he once told me that, you can, with this certification, you can actually get jobs. Even at that time, like, you can get jobs even without your degree. Like, they may not use your degree, just with this your certification, you can get something. And of course, now I'm seeing what he said. So I hope he rests in peace. That's it. Thank you. And I hope you have learned a lot. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Doc, for that wonderful presentation. Well, really, once again, our condolences to you and your family. And we pray that your father, may his soul rest in peace. And just remember that he lives through you, as well as your other family members and quite a number of other people that you don't know. Over the years, he's supported people that you don't really know, so he still lives on. So just keep praying for him. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you for the wonderful presentation you've done. Once again, I've been taking some notes to kind of reiterate what you've done. However, you've done that in that last slide. Just one thing that I want to kind of reiterate that might be probably people who are, younger ones who are just finishing their secondary schools, trying to go into universities or something like that. Just know that what Fauziya did mention about skills, of course, we've been advocating for skills. However, Dr. Yakubu, Dr. Fauziya, Dr. Nura, quite a lot of our mentors are PhDs. So we're not discouraging you not to secure your degrees. Please do go ahead and secure your degrees. But we're advocating for not just those degrees, but also ensure that you get the appropriate skills, as Dr. Fauziya did mention. another very important thing that you've mentioned is bragging about what you've done. I think that's, quite a lot of people, especially from a certain, due to certain culture, I think people tend to be very humble in such a way that they don't kind of showcase what they've done, and people feel very humble. So I think it's a new word now, the humble brag, where you kind of, yes, you remain humble, but you still have to showcase all the kind of achievements that you've achieved over a certain period of time. Thank you very much. I think I don't need. I'm sure Dr. Noura also have quite a number of comments to make, but it's been a wonderful talk. Thank you very much for that, and I'm sure there would be a number of questions after Dr. Noura. Dr. Noura, I'll pass on the virtual mic to you for your talk, please.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm audible, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, yeah. All right. So thank you. And first of all, I'm honored, to be invited to this, series. I've been following the series. Yeah, they're very educating, very encouraging as well. And the caliber of people that you invite to this platform, they make a difference, because they teach us, especially the young ones, what to do, because sometimes it's not you see our youngsters are coming up or growing up, they have plenty of time with no idea what to do, so they restrict their thinking to having to hold a phone or drive a car, marry a beautiful wife, and build a house. But how do you get the resources to do that? Usually we don't know. We have no idea what those are, how to get there. We just think about the end result. Okay, it's good to be ambitious, to have all these things, but how do you get there? You need to stand for something. What I mean, stand for something is to first of all get education. Secondly, you need to have skills, both soft and hard if you can. And, these are some of the, good ingredients that will pave the way for success, for progression, for recognition, for whatever you want to do. You need a foundation to build that. And this is where you need, first of all, education, skills, soft and hard one. So you need both. Going back to Dr. Fauziya's presentation, she covered most of the things I may want to say, but I can summarize a few things, like the emerging technology. When you look at the title, looking at the emerging technologies, for example, if I bring the top 10 that, has been trending, especially this year, 2024, we have the AI, artificial intelligence is everywhere. I've been using like 15 to 20 different software application, and 100% of those applications, they come up with update. And the major change in that update is introduction of AI. How would AI, enhance some of the features or functions you do within the applications? So you can see AI is eating up every, process we do manually, or things that you have to make decision. Now they are introducing AI to make sure that now things are smooth, or they are going with the trend. And not all of them are perfectly integrating the AI, but because this is something that has come to stay, we have to go with it. It's just like a wind, when a ship is moving overseas, wind can come, so you cannot find it, you cannot fight it, but you have to find a way to work with it, sail along the wind. So this is what is going on. It's a wind of change that has come, so we have to embrace it, whether we like it or not. So I think AI is one big area, that we need to use as part of the emerging technologies for personal, professional, or whatever career you are planning for yourself. Then secondly, we have the augmented reality is another thing, where you can see, you use your physical environment, but something else is coming to aid the physical environment. For example, if you want to shop for furniture now, there are augmented realities that allow you to put some of the furnitures in the building you want to, before you even purchase. Not only a picture, before you just go online, you see something, make a decision based on the picture. But now with augmented reality, you can take a picture of a space and then put the furniture so that they can fit in before you even make a decision to buy. So other things are virtual reality, big data, advanced analytics, blockchain. She mentioned blockchain technology, cryptocurrency is built on blockchain. These are some of them. We have decentralized, finance is still part of cryptocurrency. We have Internet of Things. We have robotics. So these are some of the things, that, give us now array of opportunities, because when you look at all these things, you can start, and you don't even have to have a degree to know and make use of this one, maybe in your personal development or the career you want to do. You want to become a medical doctor, now AI can help you, analyze, maybe cells or data about human or about whatever you're trying to investigate. So this is a very good thing. And if I may give you an example, is 20 years ago, I'm a graphic designer, and we do design, this, what you call wedding souvenirs. So, you take the bride and groom, from separate picture, you cut the background and then merge them. This process usually take an hour to cut the background because we have to do it manually using different things. But today, you can just download a simple AI app. You put your picture, no matter how it looks like, the AI will pick up your face and you can generate 20 to 50 pictures that you can use it for different purposes, on just for a few taps. So you can see now AI is coming to transform the way we live, transform the way we create ideas for living, for making money, for whatever you want to do. For example, with this simple AI, you can generate, a report using AI. You can, for example, put one picture and create a story. You can create instructional materials. You can do a lot. So there are endless opportunities with this emerging technologies. I'm just using AI because it's at the top of the list. But we just need to be creative about all this emerging technology. And we now live, breathe, and sleep with technology. What we need to do is to make choice. How do you make choice is very, very important now. So the last few things before I go is to make a decision. What do I want to do with this technology? I always give example. For example, I give an analogy that some people go to market and buy a knife. When they buy a knife, some of them with the intention to peel apples, some of them with the intention maybe to cut yam or to do some things, but others they use it to kill some people on earth. And others, they buy knife to even kill themselves. So in general, technology is just like a knife. You use it, you make a decision how you use it. So if you use it positively, it will be positive. It's garbage in, garbage out. If you use it negatively, it will still respond to whatever you ask it to do. So it's for us to make this kind of decision. Okay, how are we going to make best use of these things? And you need to create time, whatever you like, either whatever technology you choose to use, learn it very well. And when you learn it, don't wait for the market to come to you. Okay, you need to find opportunity to start creating demand for it. For example, if I learn how to what should I say? For example, how to use AI maybe to create cartoons, for example. I can go to a media house to say that, okay, you usually create a series or funny series to educate kids. Now I can help you using AI to do, something better, than what you used to have. So you can see you learn a skill and now you are trying to sell it to somebody that doesn't know they even need it. So you need to create this kind of opportunity for yourself. Don't wait for it. You have to be, proactive to it. So these are some of the things I think I can wrap up. I don't know if I stray off the course, but I think, overall, Dr. Fauziya has covered most of the things, especially the CV things for those that are coming up trying to look for jobs either locally or globally. So you need to make best use of all these technologies that are coming. And I believe, yeah, we can, build a better society for us. So yeah, I think I can stop here. I don't know whether I eat up the whole 10 minutes, but that we can open the floor for questions and answers.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for that wonderful insights that you've given us.
Yeah,
The wonderful analogy that you've given for technology,
yeah,
similar to someone buying a knife. I think this is very, very much clear for everyone to understand.
yeah,
And especially the example that you gave about the design.
yeah,
I remember I was talking with an older friend some time ago, and we were discussing about AI, and he gave me a specific example that in the past he used to use CorelDRAW
yeah,
in order to do a number of editings, and he see no difference between the computer that we usually use and AI because the computer is
yeah,
able to do most of these things.
yeah,
And so this example that you gave, with the CorelDRAW, it takes you ages, to
yeah,
to to crop or
yeah,
other previous softwares. However, now with a number of these AI tools, you can just put in. I've
yeah.
seen even those that do videos now. You just put in the text commands and then it creates videos. It's just wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You've talked about another very important thing, the need to create opportunity. I think it's not just about waiting for, I think, the demand, as you rightly mentioned. It's kind of creating, it's thinking out of the box in order to create that demand. And I think that's beautifully stated as well. So thank you very much for that. I'm sure that's going to be quite enough. I can see a
Mhm.
number of people
Yeah.
raising using the raise hand options.
Right.
Right. So I think we'll just dive in straight into the Q&A.
Yeah.
Probably
Doctor,
we'll
one
start from,
minute.
yes, please go ahead,
I,
Doctor.
when like Shenamad, I don't know what happened. This
Yes.
slide, the scholarship
Mhm.
Right.
opportunities we
Okay.
can get using. Yeah, I don't know. But saying I kind of skipping back.
Mhm.
So just to share, of course, we share the slide with them. So, but these are some places you can get scholarship opportunities in tech and other places. Okay, I just kind of put it scholarship.com, Pathway, CAPEX, and so on. And one
Right.
of the scholarship that you can get from Google is the women, the ladies that we have here, Women Tech Makers Scholars Program. You can Google about that. We have the Microsoft Diversity Conference Scholarship and so on. Okay, so I just want to share that so that it can be in the video, but then we'll share the slide with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think in addition to putting in the application, probably there could be, I'm sure there would be definitely some AI tools to help with, I guess, interview preparation or something like that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, of
thank you very
course.
much for that. Right, so we'll go in straight into the, well, should I ask my question? I think I might start today. I've been working with a team that are looking at ethics, and I think there's quite a lot of discussion about ethics. I know it's slightly drifted away from your presentation,
Yeah.
but what are your thoughts in terms of ethics with regards to the use of these tools? I remember some time ago we've seen a journal, published clearly. You could see from the first line that it's AI is being used for that. But I just want to like pick your brains on that. What do you think? Should people go ahead and start citing ChatGPT or referencing ChatGPT, for example, or other AI tools, or like what are your thoughts on that?
All right. So is it for both of us or yeah.
Just you can go ahead.
Anyone who wants
You
to.
can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So actually this has been a debate raging, especially through academia, Do we allow students to use AI to generate assignments or not? Do we, or do we use it, for example, for academic writing or not? So the answer is yes and no, because we are still debating. We have different worldviews. Some are saying, yeah, go ahead and use it. Some are saying, no, you should be authentic. One thing to note is that these tools are here to stay. They're not going away. that's one thing. And secondly, we want to be more efficient because now, as the world is getting more complex, our workload is also getting more complex. So you need some tool to, help you remove some of the, hurdles so that you can be efficient and, deliver well. So, well, from my personal view is that, if you use it responsibly, in fact, that's why a new field is emerging called responsible use of AI. How do you use it responsibly? Of course, the AI will not just give you anything. You have to write a prompt. Okay, I need to write a letter to Dr. Fauziya, asking her maybe to collaborate with me on a journal, for example. So I just use AI. I write a prompt to give me that. I just have a small idea, write to AI, and then the AI will expand it for me. So is that plagiarism? Is that laziness? Or is just improving my efficiency? So it's just a question how you interpret it, in fact, in the first place. So for example, if you look at this country, yesterday I was I'm leading a module here, in my university, and I noticed that during coursework, most of the students they use this generative AI to do their coursework. So now I ask similar question pattern, during the exam, and a lot of them I can see they struggle to give the right answer. Why? Because during coursework they use generative AI. Now in exam they don't have access to that AI, so they start, limiting their ability to use their, personal thing. So if you can avoid this kind of pitfalls, I believe, AI can be used, and if you use reliable models, because the models are still, improving almost on a daily basis. So referencing depending on which journal is the journal, will the journal allow you? I remember some journals even banned using Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is an open, repository. Anybody can go and make edits. So they say, no, we don't want Wikipedia references, but others they still accept. So I think it's a debate with open discussion, and depending on from which angle are you viewing it. I don't want to take too much time, but it's
Yes.
something that we are still trying to refine. Yeah. So in terms
Yes.
of ethics, just be responsible as
Yeah.
every other IT.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. As you said, I think it's a debate. So I think,
Yeah.
thanks for the wonderful response.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a question that Fauziya asked earlier. She said she'll come back to it though.
Yeah.
If AI has the potential to
Take your
replace
job.
human beings, like in terms of jobs, like I don't know what are your opinions like? Let me hear, bro. What do you think?
It depends on the job, I think.
Mhm.
It depends on the type of job that you're doing. I think that's what we've been advocating for, really to
No,
upskill. Because
no.
if you stay
Actually
redundant,
what actually she was saying was like, could AI replace human being? That's the question. Not like if you know AI, like the AI itself. Maybe because
Yeah.
of the evolution of AI, human
Yeah.
beings may lose their jobs, That's the
Yeah.
question. Which in my opinion, I feel like AI cannot replace your job. Rather, someone like who knows AI very well,
Yeah,
who
honestly,
put
yeah,
good
I
use of
know.
it, can replace you. That's
Yeah.
that's that's how I see
Yeah.
it.
That's the
Someone
thing.
who has the
like,
skills of AI can
Yeah.
replace, some like a person without AI skills. But AI
Yeah.
in itself will not replace human beings, right?
Yeah, it's just like in some fields, like when we first had computers, like most people that have the computer knowledge end up replacing those that don't. So I
Yes.
think that's what is going to happen for AI. We it still need a human supervision.
Yeah.
So at
Yeah.
the end of the day, even if it just make your work easier, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
Like now, if I'm coding, it takes me hours, but for now, as long as you know what you are doing, just
Exactly.
like what question Dr. Chari was asking about the ethics.
Yeah.
If you use it, you just have to know also what you are doing. You have to see what it gives you. Is it right? Is it
Yes.
the thing and so on, and
So
kind
this
of
this brings us to the second leg of the question, that
mm,
AI should just be used like as an assistant,
Yes.
assistant. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right?
You
You
have to
should
know
you
what
should
you are doing.
yes, you have to know what you want, then you use AI as an assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. We can see that.
so,
Exactly. Yeah.
so yes. So, sorry to take you back, going back to Dr. Fauziya's question, if 10 people used to do a particular job, and now a single person is doing that job because of AI, are you losing your job because of that or not?
Yeah, technically, you can say that you are losing your job, because of the evolution of AI. But then you should upskill yourself also to be that one person.
That goes back to my point. You need to upskill yourself. Yes.
That's what we are talking about
And
now.
actually,
like, you have to stay updated.
Yeah, that's the human part. That's the ethical part and the human part of it. That's why, like in consideration of while implementing some policies, as policy maker, you have to consider the human part of it. If the policy you are implementing, let's say in an institution, that AI should be used for assignments for this and that, and at the end you realize maybe 10 or 20 people will lose their jobs, then it's incumbent upon you as a policy maker to check that decision that you make. That's a human part of it, the ethics. You have to not, allow yourself just for capitalist reasons, for monetary, gains, just to cut other people's job without, so these are the human part of it, I think, that you are discussing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, honestly. And just to give you an example, yesterday there was strike, at Samsung, the electronic company in Japan. And the production where they produce laptops, they use robotics and artificial intelligence. So the production went on. But the components where humans are interacting with the systems, has to be shut down because they are on strike for a day. I think yesterday was Friday. Yeah, they are on a strike. So you can see, like Dr. Udul says, you just need to upskill yourself to keep yourself above water. If you just think, oh, I have PhD, I have degree, that's the end, then you are done. You need to keep on meeting up the challenge. Okay, what is now the highest level I can achieve? How can I extend that one so that you can be an age above somebody that hasn't got that one? If you have degree, millions have. So what else do you have on top of that degree? That's what matters. So always think ahead. It's important. Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, and in academia, I think we need to make the exam more serious. So now maybe the student will need they may need to suffer it, right? Because the exam needs to be like tough, because obviously you cannot prevent them from using AI in their assignment and so on. So I think if you are in academia, you just need to be more serious with your tests and exams.
I think there's a way that you can ask the questions without AI interrupting you. There are many ways you can, especially in mathematics and related courses, there are ways that you can ask your questions. In fact, here we give students like open book exams. It's allowed to even come with your textbook, with your notebook, and whatever you want, even with your computer. So you can come, and write the exam. And still students complain that they prefer the closed book exam, to the open book exam, because of course the instructors will not just sit down and give you anything. Just go and write open book exam.
Yeah, you have to think. Okay,
it's a preparation that is needed from the side of the professors, I think.
Definitely, right. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting talk, and everyone's very much enthusiastic about this. I can see quite a number of people trying to raise ask questions. Probably they might have some comments or questions, and we can always go back to these discussions.
I think Dr. Mariam is here. Maybe she wants to make comments.
Dr. Mariam, okay. Dr. Mariam, do you want to unmute yourself and chip in, please?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Fauziya and Dr. Nura for an interesting discussion. I just wanted to firstly ask if you can enable the chat box so that we can be able to add more comments if we need to. And just going back to your comment on can AI replace human beings or manpower? I think it's possible in some areas, especially, for example, in tasks that involve repetitive actions, maybe data-intensive tasks where you don't have to do it on your own, but you can use AI to do that. But when it comes to, for example, places where there is a complex decision-making that is needed, there is some creativity, things like emotional intelligence, I wouldn't think AI can be able to replace that. So, but I think the way I see it is in the very near future, we're going to see a collaboration between humans and AIs, and that's what is going to happen. So if I'm saying I'm going to use AI to make my task easy, so I'm collaborating with AI to make things much easier for myself. So there's that leveraging between strengths from both means, both humans and the use of AI, and this will definitely lead to kind of enhancing the productivity and the innovation that we see in these days. So, but that's just what I wanted to add.
Yes, thank you very much. I think well, you're right. Obviously, those kind of repetitive tasks with time, definitely AI would sooner or later replace those. But yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Thank you very much for that input. Any question? Or, well, I can see maybe Mujahid Nasser Hussein.
Mhm.
Do you want to?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I want to first start by thanking Dr. Nura, Dr. Fauziya, and the other coordinators of the Arewa Youth Mentorship session. Indeed, I have been following so many sessions of the Arewa Mentorship, and it is not surprising to witness another exciting session. So I want to ask a question, but before that, I just want to shed more light on the question whether AI will replace the jobs of humans. Because I have read something a long time ago with regards to this, where some team of researchers highlighted that AI was invented first as artificial narrow intelligence, where its capability and capacity is lower compared to that of humans. But as time goes on, due to continuous kind of prompts like machine learning and deep learning, it comes to have like a state of similarity with the intelligence of humans, where they regard it as artificial general intelligence. And they said if care is not taken in the future, AI will become artificial super intelligence, where it will exceed the intelligence of humans. So as you have mentioned, we just need to keep on working on ourselves. We just need to keep on developing ourselves in such a way by which we will be using AI for our own good and not using AI and not allow AI to be using us. So that is just what I want to shed light on. So with regards to my question, is regarding the certifications which Dr. Fauziya mentioned. I have been following so many pages and so many platforms on numerous certifications, for example, data analysis, where I even had the chance to participate in a program organized by Microsoft in collaboration with Lab Foundation. And Alhamdulillah, I happened to gain a certification. But the problem is that I don't know which certification will you recommend a person should target on. For example, there are so many certifications that are being considered by so many companies to be better compared to some. So which kind of certifications? Because I know of EDX, I know of Coursera, I know of so many applications which are always ready to teach numerous hard skills like data analysis, data science, cloud computing, and many more. But the certifications matters. Which certification is more better a person should target on compared to some other certifications? Thank you.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'll pass that question on to Dr. Fauziya and Dr. Nura. But what are you interested in doing really? Probably they might use that to respond to your question. Right. Okay. So I think we've lost him there. So Dr. Nura and Dr. Fauziya, you've had two comments from Dr. Mariam and Mujahid. What are your responses to that?
Okay, so if I missed that, Dr. Mariam, said she's absolutely correct that there are certain things, sometimes when we are presenting, we don't look at every nitty-gritty of the topic, but there are certain things that are repetitive, and the best way to be efficient is to use AI. And this is what we have been using even years before the current AI. I've been a software developer for like 20 years, and we do automate things that are repetitive, that may be identical, or they have the same input, and or maybe expecting certain output like that. So we do automate. And yes, those tasks that are repetition dependent, they can be automated, and that's fine. So, it depends on who. So if you do that kind of thing, so you are likely to be replaced, that's for sure. But like I said, you always stay ahead of the game, whatever the game it is. And let me make a little clarification for Mujahid. There is a difference between certification and a certificate. All right. In when we are talking about certificates, anything, I can give you a certificate to say that, oh, you have done this, you have done that. Okay, but certification comes from organized regulatory body. Okay, for example, if I want to become a system administrator, so I can get a certification from Microsoft, or maybe Amazon, or maybe some of the big players within that thing. So you have to go through certain rigorous, assessment process to be able to get a certification. But a certificate, you can get it anywhere. Allison, they can give you certificate, Future Learn, Simply Learn. There are many of them. But don't worry too much about those certifications. First of all, you need to know what you want to do and learn the skills. Okay, sometimes it's not only the certification. Certification is about exam. You can just go and download what you call the question and answers, follow it over and over. You can pass the exam. But do you have the actual knowledge that is needed? Or do you have the skills that is required to have to depend that certification? I think is very important. So, so there's difference between certification. It comes usually from a well-recognized body, and certificates anybody can give you. You can do some online course. You usually get certificate of attendance, certificate of completion, certificate of all these basic things. So I think, yeah, we need to clarify when you're talking about certification, even if you want to put them on your CV, you need to be careful. Just put maybe skills development or personal something heading that is fit for that. But if it is full certification from Microsoft, from AWS, for example, cloud architecture, or from things that well recognized, that those are certifications. So this is the little I can add. I don't know if Fauziya would have something to add.
Yeah, doctor, just like you said, it depends on what he wants to do. Maybe he's saying that he's going to do data science. I don't know, but let me assume he's going to do data science. So just like you said, he needs to know what he wants and which companies are you targeting. Are you targeting all those big companies like AWS, Amazon, Google, and so on? One thing about them, some of them are a bit selfish. The certificate, they will say like they want Microsoft. This if you want to do Microsoft or something. So you need to, are you targeting Microsoft or Google? If you are targeting those ones, then you can go for their own certificates. But if you just want normal companies that you want, what I will advise you to do is you can go to LinkedIn and kind of look at maybe 10 to 20 jobs and see the job description, see what certificates are they requiring, and then you take the majority, right? If they're all talking about they want Google IT certification or something, then you can go with it. So sometimes, even though you have the certification, like mostly now what they look at in your CV is the skills, like I mentioned in the presentation. Those AI tools are looking for those keywords, those skills. For example, they say in the job description they want somebody with machine learning engineering experience or something. Just make sure it's included, or somebody that knows Python or something. Make sure it's included, regarding of your certification. It's all the same at the end of the day when you are doing the technical interview. It's all the same question, like whether you did Google or Microsoft, it's all the same question. So just make sure those skills like Dr. Nura mentioned, you have them and they are included in your CV. because I think that's what they usually look at, the main skills. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lawan Grema, do you want to unmute yourself and make a comment or question?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa
Alaikum
alaikum
salam.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Long Grammar, but I don't know whether I'm still in the youthful bracket or not because I'm about 50. So, so anyway, thank you very much for this wonderful presentations and in fact, you guys have made me to look like Dankawe today because all the PhD, the big degrees I have, is now becoming it has become obsolete from these lectures now. I am a materials engineer, so I graduated from Sheffield, and I am a qualified materials engineer. But the problem is, I think your lecture is now telling me that I need some AI tools to be able to practice. For example, let me give you an example. In Nigeria, for example, we have these AKK pipelines, Jakarta, Kaduna, Kano gas pipelines. So if you want to lay a pipeline, so there is this prediction, there is no way you manufacture things that are perfect. They contain defects, okay? They must contain defects. So if a pipeline contains a defect, for example, a small crack, then how deep is the crack? What's the length of the crack? Then using that parameters to now determine, okay, how long this pipe will work before they explode or they burst, okay? Because it's not economical to replace the pipe because you see a crack. Now, how do you use AI tools to, for example, help you, say, okay, this crack of length maybe 2 millimeters and 1 millimeter deep, okay, can survive for the next 30 years, but after 30 years, you need to replace this pipe, something like that. Or in the field of forensic, for example, if there's any crime activity and then you came and then you are investigating, you found maybe some blood samples, the blood is dried, and then how do you determine this blood, okay, is 1 month old or 2 years old or something like that? So, we have this security problem. So, and then some tools need to be applied to help the security people in, unraveling, some criminal activities. Or if some weapons are used, then for you to now say, okay, instead of taking it to laboratory to analyze and know the chemicals of the type of ammunitions, then the tool will now tell, okay, this weapon is coming from China, this one is coming from Russia or something like that. So I think there is something that I'm now lacking. I have the basic knowledge, I have the skills, but how do I use these technologies to be relevant, maybe in the oil and gas or something like that? Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your comments as well as the wonderful question. I think it's a good one. It's an excellent one, really. I'll pass that question right away. Dr. Nura or Dr. Fauziya, do you want to? I know there's definitely tools for predictive maintenance, as you've rightly mentioned, where you can kind of identify the, as you said, whether that's a crack or, depending on your operating conditions, you can then they can then predict when you need to kind of carry out your maintenance. And also probably material treatment, for example, whether it's annealing, heat treatment, all those different heat treatment processes. I'm sure there would be, I'm not an expert in this field, but I'm sure there would be some tools that would be available to kind of support you in treating your materials right before it goes into the sites for installation and things like that. And also, things like corrosion, probably that would definitely be, tools for that as well. But I'm not the expert here. I'll pass on the mic on to you
Dr.
guys.
Jacob, your answer.
Well, he's a material scientist, isn't he?
Actually, he is right. Recently, even we have one ongoing manuscript. What we did was just to use AI, artificial intelligence, to detect corrosion. Actually, corrosion in reinforced concretes, like concrete materials. There is some like prevalence in the failure of concretes, buildings. So we are trying to use AI to detect like those cracks, and using AI. And essentially, the AI is being like fed with some data generated using laser spectroscopy here in the lab. So we try to put the data using our systems here in the lab, and then those data are being processed with the AI, to detect the corrosion and develop the model, so that it can be used for future. So there are many applications of AI, of course, in our fields: materials, renewable energy, physics, chemistry, and what have you. So this is, I mean, a wonderful stuff, really. People, I really encourage them to learn, you know,
Yeah.
especially those of us who are research oriented, you know, it will really be, you know, a handy tool.
Okay.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
good.
I think I sent my email in the chat box so that Dr. Yakub will send me some stuff, please. Thank you.
Okay,
You can see
okay. Thank you very much.
yahoo.com.
Thank you very much, Doctor. We
So-
really appreciate your contribution.
Yeah.
thank you so
And
much.
I think in addition to, sorry, yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay,
Dr. Nura.
I just want to give him his fear. I just want to cushion a little bit. Yeah, you know,
Right.
you said that after listening to us, you see that okay, you are somehow irrelevant. You know, I think being here is one of the signs that you will succeed. You know, you will still keep on going for years. One thing I want to tell you that AI, you know, all this artificial intelligence, we need to train the models. How do you train them to do what you want is by feeding them with historical data of what you're doing. For example, you're talking about pipelines, you know, you must have had experiences, you have data about previous explosion, you know, maybe bursting or maybe vandalism. All these things you need to you need to feed the AI so that when it detects this, it will use the historical data to match, just like the weather focus, you know, they use historical data for years and then they detect, okay, when the cloud did this, you know, it may happen like this. So these are some of the things you can do. So AI is there, you know, it can be merged with sensors like Dr. Udil mentioned. You know, you need to have some hardware to feed the sense to take data using sensors, and then based on that, you have the historical data that the AI learns and then try to help you analyze and, you know, like make a decision. So, Dr. Tariq, yeah.
Yeah. I think what I just want to add is, in addition to that kind of hardcore technical expertise in terms of AI as well, I think there's the soft part as well, the soft skills that we've always mentioned. You know,
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know whether you write reports. Probably you might be writing reports that are quite a number of, you know, just been talking about the GPTs, whether it's presentation. If you make any PowerPoint presentations, there are loads and loads of you know, tools available out there that you could always use to kind of improve. Not sometimes not just about improving; it's about the time. As you've mentioned, now we have loads of our workload is really increasing. So sometimes rather than spending a day to complete a presentation, you could just use these tools to cut down the time to maybe 2 hours, and then you have all the time to do other things. So
Yes.
I think it's more or less we look at it from like different perspectives, really. In addition to the hard, I think also we can also look at these kind of soft skills and look at how AI and how these different, not just AI, but these emerging technologies really could be used to kind of improve whatever it is that we're doing. So thank you very much for that input, Dr. Lal. Right, okay, Ibrahim Muhammad, can you unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Are you there? We can't hear you, Brian. You're still not audible. Right, okay. Can reskill, so there's a comment here. It says, can reskill. Alaikum salam. I think we've lost you there. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Yes. So, do you want to ask your question or make your comment?
Maybe he has some challenges,
Yes, probably, yes. So that's a question in the comments
chat
here,
box.
in the chat box. Yes.
Yeah.
It says, can reskilling programs equip doctors for the AI era while building a workforce of AI ethics and technicians to ensure responsible implementation? So this is talking about medicine. What are your thoughts on that?
What was it? Sorry.
So the question is, can reskilling programs equip doctors for the AI era while building a workforce of AI ethics or ethicists rather, and technicians to ensure responsible implementation?
Yeah. I think this has been going on for years. You know, they use deep learning, machine learning to do that already, I believe. is to reskill those doctors. Like we do research, we are in IT, but we do research with medical people, and this is what we do. There is going on, reskilling them, and of course you can, have a division of labor. Some parts that you can train some technician to support you with. Yeah, you can do that. It's an open. If I understand the question correctly, yes, this is possible, and it has been going on even before this big AI boom. It has been going. I don't know if I fully understand the question, but it's possible, and it's ongoing even.
Dr. Fauziya, do you have anything to add, or can we move on to?
I don't understand actually. What is he asking? I'm looking for
So
the
the
question.
question is, so really, he's talking about reskilling programs in order to equip doctors to be kind of equipped with the necessary AI skills,
Oh, okay.
as also at the same time thinking about that ethics, because especially when you're dealing with humans, you have to take into consideration that kind of ethics, because some of these, for example, if you think about what I've just mentioned in terms of the predictive tools, for example. If you're thinking about humans, there are certain things that you have to be cautious of, because you can't just use machines to predict, what would happen to someone in the future, for example. This is just an example.
Oh, okay. I think I would like kind of share my experience. I had a surgery last year, and they use, is it robotic surgery? But it's not that they left the robot to kind of, there was actually somebody controlling it. The doctors were there and so on. So we are going there. I don't think in health they are going to make that mistake to replace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so they were there, but it's kind of called a robotic surgery or something. That's what they use on
yeah, I think it's in the field of telemedicine even. I think
yeah.
remote surgery, a patient is in China, and the doctor is sitting in America, and they use this AI, because they're robotics, but still they share things, machine learning, deep learning, to do the same thing. And one thing we do is when we are developing system, I'm a developer, for years. When it comes to life critical systems, we call them anything that involves life. For example, military hardware and medical equipment. So there are certain principles followed, ethics, checks, tests, compliance, a lot of things has to go through you, and it must come clean. You need to follow those things to be able to do that. But yeah, it's possible because they have been there already. Most of the things, retina check, blood sample testing, DNA, they have been going through all these things even before the AI. So now the AI is just coming in with more force, to get more doctors into the AI learning, and then maybe making the better use of the tools they already have. But yeah, we are going there. I think it's expanding even.
Dr. Tariq, there is this like ideally in ordinary machine learning or AI works, when you have efficiency of maybe 99% or maybe even 99.9, it will be kind of wonderful, like fantastic, But when it comes to life and death, that 0.1 is a very huge number. Because essentially what you are saying, in every 1,000 patients, you treat, one must die. That's what the probability is saying. So that's very huge. What of in 1 million, In 1 million, how many will die just because of your treatment? So these things actually, I think they are still evolving.
Yes.
And, yes, we are still not yet there. I think we are still, people are still working on it. And I think we are progressing. The progress is remarkable. I believe.
Yes. It's important. Honestly, we are progressing. And let me give you another example. Because I'm a software developer, I know that is what we call mean time between failure. If you use this machine for 100,000 times, how many times will it fail? For example, ATM machines, you go there and withdraw cash. So all this failure, sometimes you go there, it will not give you, it will deduct your money and it will not dispense. Or maybe your card got hold. So all this thing is being calculated, and we know that if 20 people get there or 200,000, so there is high possibility that these people will get there. But how do you minimize that mean time between failure is what is being improved. And in medical things or life critical system, there is no margin for error. Like Doctor has mentioned, there is no margin, no space, no room for that. Just have to be accurate and to the point.
The error has to be 0.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've seen quite a lot of improvement in even the sensors that we wear. So, the smart watches, that takes in blood pressures and all, those kind of oxygen levels and things like that. I think there's been quite a lot of improvement in the area. And, obviously, if you're a doctor, definitely it's highly advisable that you try to start exploring into these opportunities as well. Right. So I think we'll move on to Engineer Ahmed Mohammed.
Please, can I go with my question, please?
Right.
Yes,
Okay. I think I called you earlier and you had a problem. Okay.
Yes. Yes, sure. Thank you very much, doctors, for all your contributions. I've really learned a lot from this session. So my question is, okay, I'm a computer engineering graduate, and recently I've started learning about Python programming and basics of machine learning. I'm interested in academia and research, building models that will improve the way we learn in the northern Nigeria processing, because I've experienced this mathematics, but he was not understanding me.
We've lost you there, but if I understand you correctly, you're looking at going into academia in order to improve the way that we learn. I think that's what I got, if that's correct. Yes.
Yes, in the northern Nigeria. Okay. So I was teaching a friend of mine mathematics. I was using English to explain, but he was not understanding. But when I started, I'm using both English and Hausa. So he began to pick up, and then he improved. Like, he understand each concept I was trying to explain. So I'm trying to see how I can develop a machine learning model that will help us, the northerners, like in learning and stuff like that. So the problem is I have little experience in the machine learning and the Python, and I don't have a mentor or someone to ask questions or even collaborate with and make research and publications and engage in active learning. So my question is, how can I break out of this barrier and start doing stuff?
Thank you.
Ibrahim, you can talk to me on LinkedIn. I have some NLP guys, the natural language processing people. We have them here in Ariwa Mentorship.
Actually,
yeah, you can work. They can mentor you.
I hope you've heard what Dr. Fauziya just mentioned. You can contact her directly, and she will support you. Well, link you up with guys who can support you, or someone else who can support you with that. So, but I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. It's what we want to see is that people to have that passion, to have a plan of this is what you want to do. Try to start identifying ways in order to achieve that, and then we're always happy to kind of support, to guide, to mentor. That's the aim of the Ado Youth Mentorship Program, to ensure, or at least to support you achieve your goals. So thank you very much for that. Engineer Ahmed Mohammed, do you want to make your comments? As I said earlier, Engineer Ahmed Mohammed is an active mentor of the AYMP and part of the organizing committee.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Nura and Fauziya, for the wonderful presentation. I think I have just a few comments and also a question. So, like a comment on what Doctor asked concerning AK pipelines that he's working on. So it's a good question that he wants to keep utilizing the AI. So I can even say it for ChatGTP, it can give him some idea, but the AI, it depends on what you feed him or your prompt command. So he can even take a picture of the pipeline where it burst. Then he sent it the picture and said, okay, this is a particular pipeline for such activities. The pipeline has a thick length, has a thickness of such maybe diameter, and a length of how many meter, and we have a rupture of like maybe 1.5 millimeter. what are the possible costs of this, and how long can this pipeline be used, or what is the failure rate of it. So as you keep interacting with the AI, let's say for ChatGPT, it keeps improving and gives you the answer. Then you have a report at the end of the day to make. Yeah. So I'm taking, for instance, based on example, I was working last week. So it concerning a heat exchanger design. So I have a data sheet. It was a full calculation that was made. And this is something that I did like 5 years. I can't even remember MCP, delta T, or how to even look for delta T. So what I did, I just uploaded the data sheet to ChatGPT. Well, like, do you know, it gave me all the, like, in reverse calculation, it gave me all the calculation on how those data were generated. Then it limit me, okay, I've reached my end of data analysis for that day. But if I want further, then I have to pay for the paid version, which is ChatGPT 4 and DEME or something like that. So it depends on how you use it and how you train it. So, and also like the question that I have, like, okay, Dr. Fauziya and Nura, so how is the privacy? Although I'm sure most of the AI, but it's something that we don't read to. Whenever you want to just use a software, you said, okay, accept. So how is it like the privacy? Because like the data I fed to it, does it still use the data later on to give an example, or is just keep it? So that's my just question about it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Engineer. I mean, I think you know, it's wonderful, the suggestion that you've given. We just need to remember that we, as you've mentioned, we don't take these at face value. We really have to critically analyze the output that we get in. Well, sorry, I shouldn't be saying that. I think I should let Fauziya or
No, you can go ahead, Doctor. I was actually laughing.
But I think the question is a wonderful question, because I remember someone did ask this question a few days ago about that privacy. Why is that data going, and how long is it been retained for, and would it be used for kind of providing other examples or responding to other people's responses or to your responses?
Okay, so Dr. Fauziya, should I go first or you go?
Yeah, well, I think it's there because when you're using ChatGPT, like you keep, it can keep the data, and then you keep having conversation with it. And of course, they need data.
So one thing I like with all your comments is the way we have been interchanging the two words, ChatGPT and ChatGTP. I like that.
Oh, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Okay, so yeah, like I think the data is there, and I don't know. I'm sure they are using it, because when it doesn't, like when you ask it a question and it doesn't work, give you the answer, you can see they ask you about feedback, right? And it's like you're doing like reinforcement learning, something like giving it a reward and all those things. So I think they are using it. I've never read the privacy stuff. Of course, like you say, we just accept it and so on.
Yeah.
Maybe what they will not use, maybe it's like your identity and all those things, because it's a big thing, and especially in the US and so on. But then the way you ask the question, and then the way it responded, I think they are all using that. Because like yesterday I was just trying its image. It can make images now. That's it, ChatGPT, and I was comparing it with Copilot and so on. So, but therefore the ChatGPT, I think it was not getting, like, I want some text inside the image, but it was not. It was given like some this thing, it's not spelling the thing correctly. Like I want to write maybe Fauziya or something. It doesn't write it well. So I had to they asked me for feedback. I said it's not the spelling are incorrect and so on. So I believe they are using that to improve it. So of course I would say that they are using my data, but then not like my identity and so on, because there's a policy about not them using your identity and all those stuff, maybe some sensitive data and so on. But of course, they need more data from you. And sometimes, like I had some recruiters from LinkedIn kind of coming to me asking me to train the models with mathematics, because also it's a problem. All those generative AI, they have some problem with solving math. So they recruit mathematicians. So if you are a mathematician or any other field, they may contact you to help them in training those models. So if I'm training the model, like, of course, they are using my data because they give me some question to solve and so on. They will take the steps and retrain the models. So I think they are using it, but I don't know much about their privacy.
Okay. So let me come into the privacy part. You are correct. They collect the data, especially if it is new to the model. So as you are putting in, the model is learning, or the AI is learning from you as well. That's why you are cautioned not to use any personal thing, credit cards, passwords, for example, identification number. Some of the things that can be used to identify you, abstain from using it. So if you want to ask it, try to replace it with a dummy. For example, if it is ID or password, just put a dummy thing, not the real one, because it can be exposed to others. That's one thing. And AI, OpenAI, they have different regulation depending on the country you are accessing. We live here in the UK, for example, we have what you call the GDPR, General Data Protection Act for the EU. And in the UK, we have different, they call it Privacy Act, something like that. It's a same implementation. So in that one, they ask everybody using your data to follow certain principle, about 6 of them. One of them is use it as long as necessary only. For example, if they want to use it only to, for example, to update the model, maybe for a month or less, they will delete it later because the laws are there, or they will not identify you. There are certain six principles to follow, and they follow that in the UK. So of course you have to accept their terms of condition of using that. So if you create an account, they have your email, they have your name, they have few things, and it's stored. But what you fed into the model as well is another content altogether. Signing up is different, but feeding the data is another content. So it depends on the country. Some countries, they even try to ban the use of this AI, but they use your thing. So just be careful what you put on the platform. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Talking about the privacy, I think I just observed something.
Yes.
If you can check on WhatsApp, I think they introduced Meta AI.
Yes.
Which I currently live in the Europe. So I have 2 lines. My Nigeria WhatsApp has the Meta AI. Why that of the EU doesn't have it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Google, but also when I was in Nigeria, like I don't know if you have access to it now. It wasn't working.
Yeah, they changed it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is it Gemini or
Gemini? Yes, yeah. Now, but they merged it with Gemini, and now
I don't know if those in Nigeria still have access to it. I can remember one of them. I can't remember which one was it. When I tried to use it in Nigeria, I had to use like a VPN before it worked.
Okay, yeah, they have to follow international laws, and different countries, they have different way, of treating these things, and yeah, so we just need to look out for these things.
And also, I forgot to make a comment concerning. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I forgot to make a comment concerning what he was asking, like, for instance, for forensic analysis, when you saw a blood on particular ground and you want to analyze it. I think recently, if you guys have been following the news, or it has been there for the past maybe a year, Facebook introduced what they call Ray-Ban smart metal scale, a glass.
Yeah.
So I think that glass helped to analyze some stuff like that. So with it, you can just point at something, or it's aid for people that are even visual impaired.
Yeah.
So with such devices, I think the security personnel can use it, and the AI, it's integrated with AI, the latest version, and it can analyze as you feed it information.
Exactly. And let me scare people with this information you've given. There's a research going on somewhere, that they are talking about investigation history, what happened. Now they are building, tools to dig history for more than 50, 60, 100 years. For example, I'm sitting here, I want to know what happened 100 years ago. They say the information is there. Where it is now, they're developing technology to retract this kind of information and tell me what happened right here, what I'm sitting maybe 100 years ago or 200 years ago. So with investigation, of course, there are incidences or chain of events that happen before the incident. So there are somewhere, the physicist says is somewhere. Where it is, we don't know. But they're now trying to build this kind of...
Are they trying to do carbon dating? Is it carbon dating of information?
Yeah, so maybe it's
Where is it,
something for you. I heard from the top physicists around the world, but they are saying is there and it will come.
Yeah, they can track like age, right? Age of archaeological artifacts, thousands of years and all that. So if it is similar to information, then we have carbon dating of information.
Yeah, so well, it's something highly abstract, but will come
it will just be the difference in semantics.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Right. Okay. I can see there's quite a number of people also wanting to ask questions. We're almost heading towards the second hour now. So maybe a few more questions and then we'll call it a day. It's been a very interesting talk. Yakubu Aminu, I see you've been trying to ask a question or make a comment. Can you ask your question or make a comment, please?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, before I go on my comment and questions, I wanted to send my heartfelt condolences to Auntie Fauziya. Sorry for your loss. May Allah grant you Jannat al-Firdaus.
But you remember, like, why are you calling me auntie?
I'll just 26.
Okay, I see.
Okay. First of all, I want to raise a comment about the productivity part of using AI with one. I think as much as we are appreciating the work of AI, we also have to look at how it make us less productive than before. I know when you are at our ages or when you are at undergraduate level, there is quite a number of things activity that create that was harnessed to create your creativity. But nowadays, due to the emergence of this AI, we are becoming less productive than before. So I think on this regard, we as a student, I think we should look at AI as a supportive tools rather than a working tools. Like I read a lot of articles about how you can responsibly use AI. I read an article that was published by, I think it is one of your friends, Dr. Najib Abdulhamid. He wrote a very amazing articles, about 30 of them. So he made mention something like that. If, for example, I wanted AI to help me to write a letter. So first of all, I should write a letter first. Then I check the contents of the letter. Then I set a proof like this. I wrote a letter to, for example, to Dr. Yakubu Salu. I wanted you to become my mentor. Please, ChatGPT, look at this letter, suggest the strengths of the letter, it is weakness, and give me a possible feedback or suggestion. How can I refine it? So when you do that, they will look into your letter and make all these possible suggestions. Then it can help you to refine it by yourself. So I think that thing will help in enhancing your productivity rather than relating all the AI to generate the letter for you. And with regard to the question, first of all, I have question on data science or data analytics, and then about the intelligence of the AI. Or with regard to the data science, that was Fauziya. Sorry, I have to say, I have to use his name. For example, if I wanted to learn data science or data analytics, is it possible that I have to first to understand about the machine language, like programming language, like Python or R, or I should go on?
I think we've lost you there.
We've lost him.
Yes. So, right, I didn't get the full question. Dr. Fauziya, did you get the question? So, first of all, yes, I think what you've mentioned, it's totally right. I think that's what we've been advocating for. Do something and then get the feedback and keep on taking the reins of the thing. Dr. Fauziya or Dr. Nura, could you respond to that, please?
Yeah. Regarding the last point he was asking.
So I think the question was to Dr. Fauziya. He's interested in data science.
Data science,
right?
yeah.
Probably any few tips that you want to add on in addition to what you've mentioned.
Yeah, he can first he can just look at some introduction to data science just to understand what he requires. They would like tell him from the beginning to the end what it requires, but then of course he will need some programming language, especially Python. Although in academia we usually use R, but I would recommend if he should use Python for now, especially when you want to go to industry. So, and he can actually do it concurrently while learning the Python. He can be learning like some basic concept of machine learning and so on before they start giving him some project to work on. So that's what I. On YouTube, you have a lot of videos you can watch. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe just two last questions and then we'll call it a day.
Okay.
Ibrahim, yes. Do you want to?
Yeah. I've seen somebody asking, on the chat as well. He's asking about courses,
Okay.
He's also saying, Dr. Nura, I'm interested in to build my career in cybersecurity and also machine learning, but I'm really confused which one should I go first. I don't know if you have seen that one. So it's the same similar thing, some students, coming up, they may get confused about what they want to do. Like here, you imagine the two things. Machine learning is part of cybersecurity. I teach cybersecurity as well. And part of the cybersecurity is analyzing threats, that comes from network. And how do you analyze network is by using machine learning, deep learning, and different kind of analytics approach, to do that. So machine learning is a subset of cybersecurity. So if you learn cybersecurity, machine learning will be part of it at some point. So, when you want to learn something, like Dr. Fauziya mentioned, you can go online, you go to YouTube, you can write, for example, data analytics or data science for beginners. Then from there, they will tell you from ground up the very basic things that you need to know or require for you to excel in that thing. So whatever field, I think there are some people out there trying to explain this thing. So yeah, it's just to like certify that one.
Use your data wisely. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that wonderful response. Okay, Aliyu Ibrahim Aminu, right? Ibrahim Aminu, can you unmute yourself and ask the question?
Assalamu alaikum. Good day to you all. And thank you very much for such a wonderful session. I am a student of civil engineering, a second year student here in Nigeria. My question here is that how can this AI tools or AI skills help me in my career, in the future career of civil engineering? And if you have some recommendations for the skills I need to learn as a student before graduation, please, I need that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that question. I think we'll ask one more question. Ahmed Sani, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Hello.
Barkadi.
Can you hear me? So
yes.
My name is Ahmed Sani. I work as a software developer in one of the tech companies in Nigeria. So my question was, with this AI technology, let's say I have a task that will take me 8 hours to complete. So while I'm using AI, I can complete that task in 2 hours. So will that have an impact of in the job opportunities for software developers? Like it will reduce the number of just job opportunities, being the fact that it automatically tasks.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I don't know if you've gotten that. I think I've missed that end bit there. Last question, and then we'll call it a day. Suleiman Abubakar, do you want to ask your question or make your comment, please?
Yes, please. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum assalam. So, good afternoon.
So my name is Sulaiman Abubakar. I'm a doctoral student here at Wayne State in the US. So my question, please, I guess, is more of going to Dr. Yakubu. So, Doctor, please, my problem is that what I do here, I did my bachelor's and master's degree in chemistry, but here in my PhD, I'm doing physical chemistry with research focus more on the use of femtosecond lasers to study reaction dynamics. So most of the things we learn, the skills we do learn here in the lab, usually like all those critical thinking, all those the required soft skills in addition to hard skills such as troubleshooting of femtosecond lasers, maintenance of the laser itself. So most of these skills are requirements for semiconductor industries here in the US, but as human regarding what the future can hold, I'm thinking maybe someone you finished all your program and you applied to all these semiconductor industries, and God forbid maybe you are not being absorbed, especially with the way things are going in the US, especially as an international student. So what do you think, like, is it that one has to like look for other job prospects in the future that maybe if this doesn't work, I can switch, even though like the program itself, as you know, is so demanding that to even have time to delve in learning other things is actually not easy. So as an advice, please, what could you suggest for me regarding this skill learning? Because what we do like is more of fundamental sciences regarding the this ultra fast reaction dynamics.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that question to Dr. Akuba. I've noted that. Right. Okay. So, Dr. Nura and Dr. Fauziya, do you want to respond to the previous comments? There was a comment about civil. He's a civil engineer, or he's studying civil engineering. He's asking about AI tools. I didn't quite get the second one, and then the last one was to Dr. Akuba.
So, Doctor, are you going first or should go?
Yeah, the first one, the one about civil engineering. I think I have an intern now that is she's a civil engineer, but she's working in our company that is AI driven. So I believe I think during her interview, I advised her to go into AI because I asked her what the things she does, do they go to the field and all those things. So of course, what I know about civil engineering, you have a lot of data because you go to the field, do survey, do some measurement and so on. And I advise her like, why don't you go into learn some AI and machine learning to see how she can apply that in her day-to-day activities. So believe me, anything you are doing now, there's an application of AI there as long as you have data. So all you need to do, our advice you is to do your research on do your research, kind of check what people are doing in the civil engineering. You can do search civil engineering and AI and those in what are the application, and you see a lot of them because you have you use data. You obviously as an engineer use data. Like just previously you can hear Dr. Ahmed, who is I think petroleum engineer, and he was giving us some example of how he used it. So why not a civil engineer? So our advice, you just do your own research and of course, like I say, collaborate with people that are doing civil engineering and also those that are doing data science. And then you guys can come up with something. And then the second one, Dr. Nura.
The second one, the second one is asking whether, because as a developer, it takes him
Okay, that's your
8
question.
hours. Right, yeah. So I can add even on top of the first one, actually, whatever you do, regardless of field, you need to learn what we call prompt engineering. All this AI, you write something, they give you output. So what you give them is called prompt. So now it's not about what the AI can give you, is about learning the art or the skill of asking the AI to give you the right thing. It began with purely texts, how to generate pure text. Now, voice is there. We have AI voice. Now, images is there. Now you can generate image based on those prompt. And finally, the OpenAI is introducing Sora. I don't know if you've seen that one. Is a video generation tool that can generate movies that are better than the Hollywood movies we are seeing today. So the Hollywood industry is on its nerve now. It's shaking because they may be out of business. You can generate your own movie and start selling without Hollywood, or big cameras or director. You don't know to do anything.
So they might lose their job. Sorry to cut you off.
Of course, the whole thing now is thread. If you check Sora, SORA, is a video generation that can give you cartoons. The Pixar, they are generating cartoon and they're making millions out of that. Now with a simple prompt, you can generate a cartoon with high quality, output, and it can sell throughout the world. So you can see now what you need to learn is the prompt engineering. What do you ask this AI? So when you learn this one, maybe along the way you can find something that is tailored to your industry. If you are a medical person, what is prompt engineering for medical people? If you are in the construction, or you are in IT or health or history, whatever you do, there are some things that are specifically tailored for you. I think that's the thing. So the second person is asking about the time, to develop a software. Maybe he's asking if it takes him like 8 hours to develop a portion of a software. Now using AI, will reduce that maybe to 2 hours. So will that take away some of the jobs? For example, I think he is asking if a company needs 5 people to do certain job, now they may need only 1 or 2. So that means the number may go down. Yes, in some cases it's like that, but still developing, you need people to do that. Somebody is asking what AI tool in the comment, what AI tool do I need to develop a mobile app? I don't think we are there yet to do that, because there are a lot of things that need to do juggling. You have hardware integration. You need to include so many things that AI alone cannot give you. You still need human cognitive abilities to be able to make some judgment and make some decision, that only human can do. So they are aiding tool or supporting tool, but they cannot replace you. So what I would recommend is to build your skills. You will still have job as developer. And what I always say, beyond, like learning these things, you need to, after upskilling yourself, you need to build the experience. And experience, don't wait for the job to get a job to start building your experience. If you know you can do it on a volunteer basis, start from there. I always tell the youngsters coming up, they sometimes, I don't have experience. Sometimes you would learn a skill, it in and out. Maybe you have your degree, but when you go to a portal to apply, they say we need 5 years experience, and you are just fresh graduate, you have nothing. So what I would recommend, you start even on volunteer basis while you're learning, or if you know the skills, just go there and say, I want to do this for you. So you start building even if you don't get a job. So at some point you can still, excel. Just in brief, because time is just 1 minute away. Yeah. Thank you
Thank you very much. And finally, Dr. Yakubu, the last question is to you.
Yeah. What was the last question, please? Do you have the question?
That was specific to you.
I thought maybe you. Okay, I think he was. Yeah. Actually, he was talking about like his field of expertise is chemistry, and he's intending to go to semiconductor industries in the US. So chances are like, what skills or maybe how should he be able to cope? Because what he's doing is more fundamentals and maybe they need applications, right? That's the question.
Yes.
Okay, so I think the advice Dr. Fauziya has already talked about it. Regardless of the field where you come from, that's what we call, what we talk about every day, the issue of upskilling yourself. You don't have to be in computer science or computer engineering before you learn AI, right? Before you know how to develop codes, before you know how to use generative AI perfectly, right? I can be in physics, but still I should be able to know AI. So these are the soft skills, right? Or technical skills that I think we encourage people to learn. So my advice is you take as many courses, related to your field as possible, and based on your interest, where the companies that you want to go, especially the AI, the generative AIs, the machine learnings. Just look at look at the job adverts. Maybe you can do that. Look at the job adverts of those companies that you want to go. See what they need from now on before you even graduate. Look at where you are, deficient. So then try to bridge that gap. Then on the final note, Dr. Tariq, with regards to this AI taking people's jobs and all these things, if you could remember when computers emerged earlier, maybe 20 years ago, people were thinking like they will lose their jobs because now computer has been introduced. I'm talking of a desktop computer. So you could imagine today's world without computer. Like, you can't imagine today's world without a computer. And also when YouTube and Netflix came up, people were thinking, okay, those people in the Kannywood, in the film industry, they will be jobless, They're like, nobody is buying this CD, nobody is buying the cassette, nobody is, everyone will just go to the YouTube and watch. So what they did is just to like, okay, let us follow the trend. Then they now start making their movies on YouTube and Netflix. So even this video generative stuff that we're talking about, I think what they're supposed to do is those people in the Hollywood, they should delve into the field, They should just jump there, learn the skills. Their people should master it so that they will take charge of the field, so that they will not be sent out of market. I think that's the logic. You just go into it when you know that it has risk of sending you out of your job. So just go into it, learn it very well, and play, in the game.
Yes, that's absolutely right. I totally agree with you, and I'm sure most of our participants would also agree with you. I think this brings us to the end of the session. It's been a wonderful session. We've learned quite a lot. Thank you very much, Dr. Fauziya and Dr. Nura, for your time and for the session today. As I said, we've learned quite a lot. The discussion has been really guided towards AI, but as have been mentioned earlier, there's lots of opportunities in terms of these technological innovations, whether it's augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain technologies. That's loads and loads out there. So don't just restrict yourself to AI. Of course, most of them are kind of interlinked, but there are loads of opportunities out there. So do upskill, try as much as possible to upskill yourself. And I'm sure there's going to be loads of opportunities out there for everyone. Thank you very much. I think this brings us to the end of the session. And hopefully, please remember, for those that try to ask their question but weren't given the opportunity to, this is due to time restriction. Obviously, there's nothing that we can do about it. But we can always continue the discussion on our social media platforms. Dr. Akuba has already shared a link, so please do follow on that. And then, as mentioned earlier, there are quite a number of different sessions that we've had in the past. I'm sure you could have, or you definitely have one or two that you could find interesting. So thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, so thank you.
Bye.
So bye.
You can also be part of it as mentor or student. Join the Arewa Youth Mentorship Program on Telegram, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. AYMP, together we can be great.